Thank you again for joining us. I'm very glad to see you here. And first of all, a few words about you and your background. What was your profession before you decided to change it to the tech sphere?
For a while, it's been a restaurant industry for many, many years. I've tried myself in the web design before as well. My hobbies are photography and videography as well. So I had kind of like artistic background to me, like more of a hobby side than the job itself. And then just someone told me about QA I've never heard of before, which was like a couple of years ago. And I asked him what the job is about. He was like, well, they're just clicking buttons, making sure everything is working, saying if it's not working. I was like, what do you mean? So in reality, that's kind of what it is. So I got into that, and he recommended me the Careerist. That's how I found it in the first place, because it was like the first person who told me about that. I was like, okay, let me look into this. So ended up having a job.
And why MQA? Because it looks like the tech and your before professions, those with art, with photography, and so on, is a little bit different. Why were you
I don't
attracted
know. It's
to?
just always felt like I felt myself that I can be good in IT for just some reason. I love math. I was good at math. Like things, if they're kind of working, you see that they're working. I'm kind of satisfied. So I like this part. And I feel
Mhm.
like in IT, there's no other way. It's either working or not. I mean, for most parts. So I think that was interesting. And it seemed like QA wasn't as difficult of a job to get in the first place as a first IT job. So I thought that might be a good choice for me.
So you were choosing this profession because it was not difficult, it was rather easy to start. And did you have any other expectations about this kind of sphere?
Not really. I was just everything that I learned on the course and some little research that I did after the course myself. But in the rest, it was just all I heard, and it was kind of interesting to know. I I can't say it was easy, but again, the timing is a big question here. Like for a lot of people, it's different path, different timelines. So if to skip this point of the how long it took for me to get the job, it was pretty much easy for me, I think. I don't think it was any difficult to learn. It just had to give like a little bit of time to this and that's it.
I see. And while you was choosing, and probably you was choosing between different like courses and boot camps, why have you decided to choose careers finally?
For me, when it comes to buying something or when it comes to a product, doesn't matter if from like buyer or seller side, I feel like it's important the part when someone tells you like, oh, I know them, they're good, I vouch for them. So I feel like when you hear something like that, especially it's not like something small, it's a big decision to make and it's a long decision to commit to as well. So I feel like the review from another person and ton amount of reviews that I saw on the website and I saw on the page itself, I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of people. There's like a big community. So I think the second part, for some reason, maybe because we speak the same language as well, because I'm Ukrainian, maybe this kind of helps too. So you know that somebody else came from another country, built a business, is it gives some another proud percentage of trust, something like that.
I see, I see. So the most important was that the review of a person you trust was the most important why you decided to do it.
I think that was the biggest weight in my decision, yeah, when I was choosing in between the camps.
Yeah, I see. Well, that's interesting. And also speaking about Careerist and your time at Careerist, could you tell a little bit more how was the overall process of studies?
Everything was super quick. Like it was almost 2 years ago that I started the course, I think. So it's been a while to remember. But from what I remember, it was I emailed them. They gave me a call back literally the same week or like maybe a few days after that. We spoke about it. They told me the details. I decided like within a couple of weeks probably they had a course upcoming soon. So I wanted to decide, and I was like, you know what? Like if I'm already looking into this, if I already want to do this, like I better do it now. So I was like, okay, let's do this. But when it comes to the process itself, the course was quick. It wasn't too many people. It was a lot of details. It was a lot of attention to us, like to each separate student, which was nice. That it was kind of a group meeting, but still not really. So it was nice. We heard a lot of feedback as well from the people that we worked with or we did the internship with. Um, The Victor, my mentor, is totally different story. Is I did not expect that level of support and that level of help that I got, honestly. Like if somebody could pay me to say this for people, I would, but like that's honestly. And this person stuck with me for so long and he helped me with literally every single thing that I had to ask about, like with the job search, with the resume, with the LinkedIn, with every single thing that I had a question about, he would always help me. And right now I recommended to my friend the course as well, and I want him to also be his mentor. So I'm also bringing you guys people.
Yeah.
But it was very nice experience. I felt definitely felt that this attention to details was there every step of the way, and that just bought my heart. You guys have it all, and
Oh.
really appreciate the job that for everything that's been done because it was a lot. It was a lot, and it was a very long process, and like the company was always there, which was extremely nice.
Well, it's very good to hear that. It's a little heartwarming. Yeah, thank you. And it was actually my next question about career coaching and about mentorship support. How did you find it? And so, but you already answered. Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
right, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Speaking about internship, have did you have internship after you have finished your studies, and how was that?
Yes, if I'm remembering right, I think it was about 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the internship. It was few different projects, so we would have day-to-day meetings every single day with the same people who would be as our manager, and it would just be a presentation of how the regular look of QA would look like in most of the jobs, most of the companies. So we would have a calls, we would have things to do, we would have to report to this person, say what exactly was done and what we found, I don't know, challenging, for example, or if we couldn't finish something and what we're going to be doing tomorrow, something like that.
Hmm.
Pretty much kind of what it looks like in a regular life too, in agile environment.
Hmm.
So that's how I had it. So it was kind of helpful too when you kind of already know and understand how it's going to be in such a short period of time.
So it was useful before you've started your own job search to plus this
Yes,
internship. Very good to
yes.
hear. Yeah, okay.
Especially for a person who've never been into IT industry, who've never worked with tech at all, to kind of understand how it even looks like because even visually what I had before was totally something else. That's
Hmm.
why it was interesting to see how it is.
Was it something you expected to be in, or it was something that you did not expect
I honestly
to
had
be?
no expect I did not have any expectations at all. I was just, let's see, nice internship right away after the course, beautiful, I can see what's happening.
Oh, I love your approach so much. Because very often people are just very scared of starting something new, but you are not scared and you do not have any expectations and just do it. So if you decided to do something,
I
you
mean,
just
she's
started.
already decided, yeah.
Okay, okay. And well, speaking about your first job, which you got, how much time did it take you to take this to get this offer? Could you tell us a bit about that?
It was about a year and a half, little closer than a little maybe shorter than a year and a half. um It was in the first place when I just started looking for jobs, it was a lot of calls, but not a lot of interviews. It wouldn't sometimes pass even the recruiter itself for no particular reason. It wasn't really like those interviews never really had technical questions, so there might be something else. Then it was super quiet for a very long time. For a couple of months, I gave up looking for jobs. Then I came back to it again. I was like, I have to finish that. I already started. It's been for so long. So I started doing it again. Then I gave up for another couple of weeks because every day is a lot of time too to apply for jobs. It's not that a couple of jobs a day. It's constant search, like 24/7. I mean,
Sure, sure.
maybe Saturday, Sunday off, but not always. Um, but yeah, looking for job it was a long time. I've had a couple of interviews. Some of them, oh, I'm sorry, some of them already passed to a final interview when it was me and another person. It was interesting job position they had. It was a QA for some kind of machines in the farm, but they would ship to you different parts, different little computers that you would have to connect to by yourself at home. And you would kind of have something like a VR, and you would have to like navigate this car in those glasses and try to QA at the same time. It was an interesting thing. I was really curious about this, but it was me and another person, and they chose another person who had a similar background to what they were looking for.
Mhm.
Uh, but that's pretty much it. And then with this job, they just found me. My recruiter found me. I love her. She's amazing.
I see.
I
And
think she just saw either on one of the platforms. She probably saw my resume because I was everywhere. Maybe that's how.
so she just gave up. Finally, she just gave up. And speaking about your motivation during this 1 year and a half of job search, what do you have any tips and tricks how to keep motivated during this search?
Just keep on going. Just I know how simple and easy it sounds, but I'm just probably for me what works is just thinking how much was already job done for this and like how long of a path and how much time was spent to this. Not talking about money too, of course, everybody's thinking about that. So probably already knowing how much was already done and the last one final step is just to get the job. Because the first job, that's the golden nugget. That's the complicated one.
Yeah.
After that is not such a big of a deal. But the first one, that's when it's getting stressful. So I feel like just trust the process, trust that things can be busy at 1 month and not busy in another month. It's happening. It's just your perfect job is somewhere there waiting for you. Maybe not
Hmm.
even just one.
Hmm. And your first interview, do you remember how it was? So, what did you feel? What were you answering? Did you do some maybe
Oh, I
like
was
errors
it
and
was
so on?
horrible. It was so stressful. It was so
Tell
stressful.
more.
Oh my God. I
Tell us
felt
more.
like I'm on a public speech, even if I wasn't even talking on the camera. If it was just a phone call, I would be already shaking and so stressed. But when everybody was saying that, just trust me, after 10, 20, 30 interviews, you don't feel the same way. And that's what happened. When you already know, like, if it's recruiter calling you, you kind of know what they're going to ask already. When, let's say, a manager already calling you, also kind of know what they're going to ask. Like, you research about the company a little bit, you know where you need it, where you don't, like little things like this. But in the beginning, it was very stressful. I'm not a public speech person at all. I think I've done it once and it was in college and did not enjoy it at all. So I think that the same fear I had during the calls, but it was easy. It wasn't, it's just my expectations were way higher about the calls than they actually were. It was way easier questions and more simple things and things about like personality more than about the tech experience, for example, which is amazing.
I see. And at what interview you felt that this stress is already gone? So was it fifth or 10th or
Yeah,
13th
no,
interview?
whoever's gonna watch this, they're not gonna like my answer because it happened on the final interview when I got the job. That's when the stress stopped.
Do
I
you
feel
remember?
like that's what happened.
Yeah, do you remember what number was this interview after which you received this offer?
That was the only one in person. I had plenty on call.
Ah.
I had plenty with the managers on call. But because this job is in the same city as me, it's mostly on site. So they asked me to come for the second interview was on the phone with one of their team members, and the final one was already in the office. So that's why I had to go there. But
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like on the call it would be same stressful as in person.
What is your everyday routine? How do you work? What is your job?
So my job is totally different from a regular QA position, which is
Mhm.
funny because even our team we call a content team because I work for Burger King. So the everything that people see in the United States, like on the TV advertisements, in the restaurants, on the website, on DoorDash, we manage all of that. We make it appear there. We add the images and like testing everything. It's pretty fun. I like the place because there is so many different things that our team does, and the nice part is that every person in our team has to know everything. So all of us have to have the same knowledge, and even we do different things, but we have to have the same knowledge because everything is so much tied together, like every little piece that like a little chain of different details. um, and it can be one day I can be testing if there's something need to be testing. If there's another day I can be configuring something on the app, for example. I can make things, click the buttons, add copy pasting things, do some little research things, and make something appear on the website, for example, and see if it's working correctly, if it's the same as it should be. It's like everything else on the website, for example. Another day, um, I can be doing some another configurations like for a third party. For another day, we have a lot of to keep up with because we we are the only team that works with five different vendors. So we have five different informations about the same piece of information from five different companies.
Hmm.
And we're kind of the one who's like in the middle of everybody, that we reach out to everybody.
I see. It's interesting. And how huge is your team with you work every day?
My team is six people.
6 people. Wow, it's rather big. Like, do you have like team leads who is leading you, and how's your everyday
Uh,
going?
we have we have two business analysts in our team. We have two another QAs, and we have our manager, which is a sixth person, and the seventh person is the senior manager. Senior
Hmm.
manager is he's next to us, and we usually work with him and with our manager, and the rest, like already all this information being passed by them to
Hmm.
another people.
Your team, those 6 people you work with, are they also new people in QA, or they have already huge experience and you're like a freshman in this group?
That's actually interesting because nobody from my team codes, so nobody's automation. And
Hmm.
for some of them, is the first IT job ever in this company and is this role. So, but they've been there for a couple years already, so it's their first place. They stayed for a while and they kind of like it. So it was nice to see that even without really a big, huge technical experience, you can get a job like this, and it's sometimes not easy to do too. But it's, everything is possible. Like everything is possible to learn.
Hmm.
Everything is gonna happen over time.
Your desire to study and your ability to study all the time,
Oh,
learning something new, is it important for this sphere?
from what I saw in my team, definitely yes, because there's a lot of things that are constantly changing, and you kind of have to keep up. And if you don't keep up, that it will be you can feel it in the team. If just one person don't keep up, you know already that we're all the whole our team is a chain. So if one person not keeping up, then something's gonna happen with another side of it. So we have to all know everything and try to like get better and remember all those things and do things in a different way sometimes.
Hmm.
So I think there is no another way
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to do this. I mean, at least it's what I see in my team, that there is no another way. But you have to just like you have to know things, and like the people, because the way it happens in reality is that someone can come to you and ask about something, and you have to know. You have to have the answer.
Hmm.
Or like if you don't know, you can reach out to another person, but in reality you're not gonna reach out to another person every time. So like little doing some little notes, saving something here, saving something here, like trying to remember. But it's nice. I feel like the environment allows you to kind of enjoy the process because you're constantly in the move. That you're never bored. There's always something new. Things are always changing. The company is also doing different events for teams, sometimes even for the whole company. So it's kind of nice. They keeping it up, like moving. I don't know, and just like really agile, very agile.
Yeah, yeah, that's very good. And it's very important that it's not boring. You're absolutely right, because if it's
Yeah,
boring, then it's there. It doesn't have sense maybe to work there. Sure. How long
right.
have you been working at this workplace, and what are your future plans? Is it so your future plans are connected with your current job place, or probably, or maybe in different other spheres?
It's been 7 months already that I'm working there. We'll see. I think I would love to learn automation. I kind of feel like I might be good in coding. I really want to try. I don't know. It seems like it might click. So in my team, maybe in my company also maybe, because I've seen a lot of people transferring from one team to another, or they decide to change the career like from one field to another within the same company. They also do this, which is kind of nice. So like they keep the same employees, they know they're good, and they also want to stay. So it's very nice to see. Um, Probably automation. Who knows? I don't know. I think when I learn to code, after that I already think like, okay, what can I code? Like, what can we do now?
And
Which field I want to go to.
yeah, sure. And thinking about this, this those 7 months of your work at this workplace, are you still in love with this QA sphere, or something has changed after you have started to go deeper into the profession?
What changed when it comes to perspective? I knew that I would want to stay. I know that. I don't have anything bad to say. I mean, maybe I would find a couple things, but when it comes to if I regret going to QA, definitely no. Especially that having different job. What changed is that I know always like what time I'm home. I know my schedule. Like things are more stable this way. And it's kind of nice that you don't really I'm not feeling tired when I'm coming home. I don't know how it happens. Like so maybe because so many things to do and you're not really like moving that much, but there's still like your brain is working and you feel like, okay, I'm kind of feeling good. Like I'm okay. I can go home. I can still do a couple things. And that's what changed. I feel like this feeling when my Monday starts every morning, like, oh my God, it's Monday again. And within a second, I feel that it's already Thursday. And it's every week is the same way. Like I feel like, oh my God, it's Monday again, and then it's almost Friday, and it's the end of the week, and I have a weekends again. So that's nice to feel that you kind of have the time, you have the space a little bit, and the energy for something else besides the job and driving to job. After I started working there, I don't know, things are just like kind of got more peaceful, I guess. It's enjoyable job. It's not it's a lot to keep up with, but it's kind of nice that you have different roles, you have different things, you doing different every day, which kind of changes it all the time, I think. And
Mhm.
every couple of months, it's different projects as well, so there can be like a different stuff to it. Um, I think that's what changed.
I see. And just like overall thinking about the profession of QA, and what would you say that like the QA specialist is a person who is this person?
Who is extremely detail oriented. That definitely would be number one because it's seeing different things. You know why this happening, and it's usually not just one person, and which is making it even worse, I guess. So definitely detail oriented, um, practical maybe, and sometimes some soft skills like a communication skills also good. But it's just overall in general. It's not even just QA itself, but
Mhm.
in general in team.
And speaking about soft skills, what do you think? What skill is the most important for QA?
Um, a lot of people are confrontational,
Mhm.
and not everybody always accepts it the same way, see it the same way, or understand it the same way, or even hear it the same way. So there's always sides to it. So I think just remembering that we're all the team, we're working for the same purpose, we're doing the same thing together, and just I feel like understanding that would be amazing. I'm not talking about anything specific. I just have a lot of people in IT, and I know that everyone's different, and we're all working with the different teams from different countries and in different continents too. So
Mhm.
it's yeah, I think this would be it.
I see, and kind of adaptability probably as well.
Maybe, yeah.
If you would love to give advice to those people who are still thinking whether to become QA or not to become QA, what advice would you give to those people?
Definitely do a research and to hear themselves because I did not know what to listen to, and I was like, okay, sounds fun, sounds cool. And if this is enough to get to this and say, okay, I kind of enjoy it, then any higher motivation than just curiosity should be more than good, even
Hmm.
comparing to this. So I think just to, as I said before, probably trust the process and just to see like what these people are doing like day to day and watch more videos like this, I guess, of people who just got into the place or been working for 5 to 10 years just to see what they're doing and just to, I guess, ask themselves if they think that's what they want to do for a while. If that's
Hmm.
how they want to move, for example, if the tempo and I mean, it also depends on the company and specific because QA is so different. I've have a few people that they working in QA and we do totally different things. Like our jobs are nothing alike to each other. That's why I feel like it can be so many shades to it because of this that's what makes it probably easier to like for another people to just get into this job and see if they like this one or they like this one, and it still would be a QA. Even the roles would be totally different.
Do you probably have kind of your dream sphere to work with? Maybe you have been dreaming about working with some other sphere, like again about healthcare, QA in healthcare, QA in entertainment, or any other kind of.
QAing, I saw it would be more like more specific probably. I would love to work, for example, for Spotify. I love music. And I feel like they doing a really nice job. It's something like a personal of what I enjoy that can match with me. Probably this or Photoshop, for example, like testing Photoshop tools and different things that they're creating and like in Adobe Creative in general. Or I saw also a couple jobs for like a video gaming tester. It's also cool. Like I don't know, it's just something that like you don't believe that this is a job. You know? That's how it feels sometimes. That's why I'm laughing, I think, because when people think that you're making money on that, they think you're joking, but you're not.
I think that's actually it from my side. It was a great pleasure to communicate with you, and I really love
Likewise.
your approach to like to study something new. Sometimes it's really what is necessary for all of us just to decide to do something and to do something, and this is very cool.
Exactly.